Aloha.
Aloha, everybody. Okay, guys. So now, video number 2 of clay. First video was about the tools that you have. So here's my bucket, which I've already gotten some of my tools out of. I've laid them out what I think I'm going to need. I'm going to show you how to use the floss to help me cut clay into pieces, but I'm also going to show you how to use everything else. So I have my water ready to go. Remember, this can be shared by 4 people. I don't need a bunch of water. This has maybe a centimeter, maybe a little bit more of water in it, so it does not need to be much, and I would share that with others. My other tools are ready to go. I'm even going to show you, either in this video or the next, I will show you how to even use a impression mat to create a design. So first thing, pinch pots. Pinch pots are the foundation of any good project. Knowing how to make a pinch pot, it's a solid base foundation skill. So I could take a square of clay. I might round it a little bit, but I don't need to do a whole lot, okay? Pinch pot, the name is misleading. I'm not actually pinching, because when we pinch, we think of small pinches. We're actually squeezing. So our thumb is in the middle, our fingers are on the side. We squeeze and turn, okay? The idea here is to create a bowl-like creation with this technique. My thumb needs to continue to go down while my fingers are covering the outside. Girls, I'll warn you, if you have fingernails like I do, clay's going to get under your fingernails. Just know that washing and so forth, you'll get it out. Okay? I'm going to keep squeezing. I can feel if I have thick areas, I want it to be approximately all about the same. So if I feel down here and I feel a bunch of clay between my fingers, then I know I need to squeeze just a little bit more. Okay? Once I'm done, I've got a nice pot. Now this one's a small baby size. The truth is, you can make them really big. You can make them so nice. You can actually make 2 and put them together. Just know that you need to have a way for air to escape. And we can talk a little bit more about that. When you make a project that is enclosed, you do have to create an air hole so that heated air can escape, otherwise you have an explosion. Okay, so I'm done. I do notice that my edges are not perfectly smooth, and you know what? That's okay. If I want to fix that, I can use coils to do that. Now I'm going to use some of my recycled clay to do that. I've already used this a little bit today. It's starting to dry out just a tiny bit, but I pulled it off. Now if it gets super crumbly, then I need to put it away in the clay to be recycled. If it's too crumbly, it's not useful. Coils, second most important skill. A coil is a tube of clay. Okay, it is a solid cylinder. Now here's the thing, there's some rules on that. When you're using the practice clay, you can roll back and forth like this. The clay is very forgiving. When you're using the real stuff, you can't do that. You have to roll in one direction. So the way that I normally do it, I start at the top of my mat using the base of my hand on my clay, and then I just roll down. Do it slowly at first so you get the feeling for it. If you have to, hold the top of your mat, which sometimes I do. As it gets bigger, I can use 2 hands. Couple of warnings about size. Now you notice mine is starting to break a little bit. That's okay. That really doesn't hurt me. This is where a lot of students get frustrated. But if it breaks like that, no big deal, because I can use separate pieces for different things. Okay, now I don't want to make my clay any smaller than this. I really don't want it too much smaller than the width of my pinky. Not the length, it can be longer or shorter, but I don't want it to be any skinnier than the size of my pinky, because if it's too skinny, it will break very easy in either putting it on my project part or whenever it gets in the kiln. And I don't want that to happen. I'm going to do a decorative bowl. okay? But I want to create a base. If I set this down, I can press it down. I can get a little bit of a base going, and it'll sit, so now I have a flat spot. But if I want to really make it stable, I'm going to use a coil to do that. Now, before I attach my coil and see it's breaking because it's a recycled piece, what I want to do is I'm going to score and slip. This is one of the most important ways to attach anything. So I'm going to use my brush. Okay, it's just a plain old toothbrush, but I wouldn't suggest using it on your teeth. Okay, to score, we use the toothbrush. It's to rough up a surface. That's what score means. Slip is super wet clay, but we're going to do both at the same time. We're going to dip the brush to get it wet. We're going to put it where we want our clay to attach on both pieces. Just think about it. When we're doing gluing, it works. It's more effective if you put glue on both pieces. So yes, my clay is starting to fall apart a little bit. My coil of clay, it's no big deal. So I put it on there. I'm going to put my fingers on the inside. I'm going to press them together just a little bit. Now I've made a little triangle. I originally wanted a circle, but a triangle works. Now, once I've attached it, if I don't like that part, okay, it's really easy to fix. I can just smooth it with my fingers. Okay, so it's okay that it's broken. It's okay that it's not perfect. It's the bottom of my project. And I'm going to work with, I guess you could call it a mistake, but it's not really even a mistake. It's an imperfection, and it's okay to have imperfections. Now I want you to notice I did not go dip my finger in the water to correct this. It's still got enough moisture to it that I can easily correct it without doing that. Now, I noticed earlier that my edge was a little bit wobbly. I can use a cutting tool, different tools to trim that off if I wanted, or I can just add a coil on the top. Not a problem. I'm not going to use this piece. This isn't quite long enough. If I'm going to do the whole circumference, I might want a little bit bigger piece. Now, this, I can use this whole chunk to roll out, but it's a little bit big and a little unwieldy. So I'm going to take some of my floss, cut it on the little cutter on there. Okay, close it up. I would put it back in the box and if I don't need it anymore. You wrap the two strings on the end of your finger and you can press it down. And what I like to do is flip it over and then I pull it up. Now I've got two pieces of clay, really easy. Coil again. I'm gonna move my water. Now I've obviously rolled out a lot more than I'm gonna need. So I'm going to kind of sort of go ahead and measure, break it off, flatten my ends, score. Now you do need to be careful not to overdo it with the water. It won't work out as nicely as you think it should. Take my one end and begin pressing it into place as I go. Okay, now I did that on the outside again. If I don't like that little edge, I can smooth that down. I can smooth the inside down, and I just keep on adding. I can do whatever I want with this. The coil or the pinch pot's great for foundations. You can use it all different ways. You can make it all different sizes. The coil is awesome for adding details and to strengthen pieces. This is just one of many examples of how you can do this. We've had students make fish. We've done flat projects where we've added pieces for details. So this is a lot of fun, but these are your foundation, coil, pinch pot. Enjoy!